Hello everyone, my name is Xuân Anh. Today I'm very glad to be here and present about the topic Challenges and Ethical Consideration in Online Communication. My presentation includes 4 main parts as shown in this slide, and now let's move on to the first part in this topic. Online communication refers to the exchange of information through electronic mediators. It allows us to deliver a message quickly, exchange information whenever we want, and connect with someone beyond geographical and social boundaries. Online communication is considered as effective communication when it has accurate message, clear purpose, and mutual understanding between senders and receivers. The ethical aspect is also very important in online communication because it's related to maintain etiquette, respect, responsibility, and politeness when interacting with someone virtually. However, besides its benefit, online communication also creates some challenges that we need to be aware of. Now, let's move on to one of the most important parts in this topic. The first challenge is lack of nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues includes everything we use to receive or convey information without using words. Let's see this case study and evaluate how nonverbal cues appear in this type of communication. Imagine that someone asks you, would you like a cup of tea? And your answer is okay. However, in interpersonal communication, someone can hear your high tone of voice, your smiley face, and your hand movement like this. They can interpret you are happy and you actually agree with this suggestion. Or when someone can see your facial expression and behavior like the right side picture, they can interpret that you don't actually agree with this suggestion or you hesitate to receive a cup of tea from them. However, in online communication, the sender just received your text-based message and you reply that okay. So, what's the problem here? Online communication mostly happens in text-based format and without face-to-face interaction, which means it's incapable of showing nonverbal communication signals. Online communication takes place in virtual environment, but it happens with other people who also have feelings, and it's raised a concern about how to express the feeling if it lack of nonverbal cues. For example, a long-distance couple can stay in touch through message and calls, but that's not enough to maintain the emotional closeness. The absence of affectionate gesture, such as eye contact and hugging, can cause the emotional distance. As a result, their relationship may become fragile and bound to break up. To sum up, without nonverbal cues, verbal and nonverbal elements cannot work together. People interpret message based on their own perception. This often leads to misinterpretation of emotion and intention, making the online communication less effective. The second challenge is lack of gatekeepers. In mass communication, gatekeepers play a crucial role in verifying and controlling information before publication. They ensure the truthfulness, appropriateness, and social responsibilities. In online communication, gatekeepers disappear and there is no moderation or fact-checking information, so anyone can create and share content freely. For example, a striking case in Vietnam was the leak of rapper MCK's sensitive photo in 2024, which spread widely across online platforms within hours. This incident highlights how the lack of gatekeeping mechanism can harm individual dignity and privacy while eroding ethical standards in online spaces. Without gatekeepers, false information and fake news spread widely. This raises serious ethical concern regarding accuracy, privacy, and public responsibility in online communication. How about the third challenge? Ambiguity in written communication occurs when people use too much internet slang or careless language, making the message confusing or even offensive. A case study from Yale University, instead of choosing careful wordings to market for recruiting new students, they use extensive message and causes misunderstanding and public anger. Therefore, ambiguity in written communication leads to the misinterpretation, offense, delays in information exchange, and loss of professionalism. We finished discussing about the challenges in online communication, so now let's move on to the next part. Cultural differences. In online communication, there have always been differences in online communication style. Vietnam is a high-context culture, where people communicate indirectly, value harmony and respect. In contrast, Western countries are low-context culture, which are more direct and individualistic. It raised the concern about the cultural conflict in the cyberspace in Vietnam. When traditional Vietnamese communication values moves online, they clash with Western digital norms that encourage open criticism and personal expression. Some people find it difficult in balancing global expressiveness with local politeness. So, it results in two-phase impact in online communication style. And how cultural differences impact the ethical perception of Vietnamese youth. For the positive side, exposure to global digital culture improves the awareness of freedom of expression, respect for privacy, digital responsibility, and civic engagement. Many young people are more open-minded, and they use the online platform for sharing ideas and exchanging information. For negative sides, some youth imitate Western or foreign trends without cultural awareness, leading to the use of vulgar or offensive language, such as the use English swear words in chatting with their friend, or overuse of mixing English and Vietnamese, which harm the linguistic clarity and cultural identity. For example, I'm excited because song này ghê. It means I'm very excited about this song. To sum up, online communication is an essential but challenging tool in the digital age. We must address issues like lack of memorable cues, absence of gatekeepers, and ambiguity in online communication, so we can find a way to minimize these challenges. Globalization and online communication expose Vietnamese youth to diverse cultural and ethical standards. However, this creates both sides. For opportunities is about the openness and digital maturity, and about the challenges for preserving cultural and moral values. And that's the end of the topic today. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.